Jurgen, how do you reflect on 2019? 55 games, 2 trophies, maybe a third?
Oh, that's surprising. Now I didn't think about it yet. So far, so good. I would say there are still three, I think, very important games to come for this year. And yeah, so far the ride was interesting. Obviously successful with some real highs, not so many lows, which is actually good when you can say that about a year. But I want to make a final resume maybe in after the next 3 games, and then we start immediately the new year. So maybe I don't even make it then. But all good.
Do you get greedy for trophies? I know you said in the past that missing out of the Premier League last season was a building process, but when you get greedy to win trophy after trophy,
is it greed? I'm not sure. It's like this. It's desire. You want to have it, of course. I don't think it's real greed. It's we improved our opportunities, obviously, with different things. Of course, with the players we brought in and worked together for a while. Of course, with more experience, stuff like this, getting used to different situations more and more. You know, a defeat is a defeat, but if you learn of it, it still makes sense, like the Champions League final the year before when we lost that. And it's not that we really learned something from the final, but the way to the final, on the way to the next final, the experience from the year before helped us a lot. So that's how we try it. And I really think the desire is immense, is big, massive, to win more trophies. If it's greed, I don't know, but yeah, who cares? Okay, with the Premier League, maybe it's now 3 teams. I don't know exactly who can win it still, and with the Champions League, there are still 16 teams who can win it. The FA Cup, I don't even know exactly how many teams are in still, but that's how it is. Yes, the good thing is if you think about it, then you don't think we have no chance, and that's the start. So we have a chance, but we knew that. I remember 2 years ago, before when we qualified for the Champions League after the Hoffenheim game, we had a meeting, and I said to the boys, "Look, in the competition there are maybe 10 clubs who can win the Champions League. There were more teams in, obviously, in that moment. A lot of teams are part of it, but around about 10 clubs can win it. We are one of them. It doesn't feel in a moment like this, but we are. So, and that's what we should try, and that's how we took the Champions League, for example. With the Premier League, it's slightly different and difficult, of course, when you see the dominance of Man City for the last 3 years. Yes, last year we were close, but could we know that we can stay consistent? That you could never know before the season. You work on that, you hope for it, but you don't know exactly. So we are no dreamers. We are just quite positive about our skills and our relationship and the things we do together and the things we want to achieve together. So we will see what happens. Nobody knows if we win one of these trophies, but we will work, of course, on it.
Because going so close to the Premier League last season could have been a negative, having gone so close and not winning it. But you seem to have made it a positive in the sense that you went so close. And how do you do that?
Common sense means, yes, we were disappointed, but if you play against, if your opponent, and we had a lot of opponents obviously, but the main contender is Man City, you cannot expect to just get something only because you do your best, because they do it as well, and we pushed each other through the league. So we were disappointed, yes, but of course it helped that we had 3 weeks later a big final for us. That helped for sure. But the disappointment after the season was not that much how you would maybe expect, and not because we didn't want it. I think everybody saw that we really wanted it, just because we accept the reality. That's how it is. That's how I said before. We are no dreamers. We work for the things we want to have, and if you work for it, there's no guarantee that you get it. It's the only chance to get anything, and that's what we try. And that's exactly what we did again. The mood was brilliant when we started the season again, when we wanted to achieve even greater things, stuff like that. But without really knowing what it is, we take what we can get. That's how it is. We play for everything. The Super Cup is another good example. So we didn't know exactly how important it is. When we won it, it felt sensational, but we had no clue before. If we will play that game again in our lives, we will say, okay, now we know how it feels. And that's a little bit like it is here with the World Cup. You don't know exactly, but it's when you see how much it means to the Brazilian team, for example, now, how the countries, I spoke, of course, to Ali, spoke to Bobby, and they say, Ali told me when his club won it in 2006 or so, I'm not sure, when he was pretty young, and he said he went mad as a kid there, and that's what it means to the Brazilians in England. It's not the same value, but for us, we can show how much it means to us, and that's what we try. That's what we tried in the semi-final, and that's what we will try tomorrow.
You talk about it being sensational to win the Super Cup. You must know what it would feel like to win the Premier League as a Liverpool manager, because the fans are desperate to win that.
They are. But we cannot change that. We cannot change that it takes time, that you have to work, that you have to play all the games, that you cannot. It's not allowed to get nervous. We are not. We know that it's nothing. It's not for sure that we will win it. We have a chance. Obviously, we created a good basis so far, but we have to fight in each game like crazy. Nothing is easy for us. So that's how.
Frightened to mention it, because the fans aren't singing about the league. Are they frightened to say we're going to win the league this season? Are they frightened to say win the league here?
No. People tell me that constantly. When I see them, they constantly tell me that. But the only thing what I can say, I try, or we try. So more, I cannot promise more. That's how it is. When I became champion with Dortmund, it's always the same question. It's always about, come on, do you want to be champion? Of course we want to be champion. Will you be champion? I don't know. So I'm not. It's not interesting to me until we are. So I don't need to know when it will be or whatever. There's a final match day in May. I don't even know exactly when it is. So if we are then top of the table, believe me, we will celebrate it. But until then, we don't have to think about will we really be it or what. We just have to be focused on the next game. That's the only way I understand. And from my experience, I can say it's enough. You don't have to know the whole year we will be champion, because nobody knows that. We want to be. Since 30 years, obviously, all Liverpool supporters want to be champion. It didn't work out, and we try again and again, and that's what we do this year with a slightly better basis than usually. That's all. But unbelievable strong opponents, and not only the two teams around us know as well the teams who are fighting for the Champions League. We have to play them all still and again, and the results so far were really good, but again tight games. That's it.
There was a lot of not relief, but I guess happiness that you signed your contract last week, 2024, 5 more years. What can you build in that time at Liverpool?
We will see. By the way, it's 4.5. No, don't worry. We will see. The reason for it was easy. First and foremost, the club wanted, which is good. It shows that there is a lot of trust in work. You can, even when it's good in a moment, it could be that the people think, okay, in maybe 1 year it will be not that good anymore, stuff like this. But everybody in this moment in the club believes that the constellation and the relationship we have all with each other, that it really works out in the future as well. That's important. So we will see what we can achieve together in that time, but there will be then probably a moment where we have to change things, improve always, but to change things as well. And I really thought it makes sense that I do that then, instead of another manager coming in and have to do this kind of not really thankful job and like rebuild or whatever, and then say, oh, but Klopp would have done differently, stuff like this. This club became so important to me in a really short time. It's unbelievable. I feel absolutely responsible for probably too much, but for nearly everything, and that's what we try to show with that extension. That we are ready to win whatever we can, but to make sure, because there's always a time after me, after another manager, that the club is in the best possible position to carry on in the best possible way.
So have you already started the rebuild or the reshaping by signing Minamino? Is that part of it?
It's a little bit. It's not reshaping, but it's Taki is for sure a player who can help us immediately, in the short term and in the long term, from an age perspective. There's a lot. He's already really good, how everybody could see when we played them in Salzburg, against Salzburg, but still potential there to become even better, which is good. And you need not only fresh legs in the 3 day when you play on Sunday and on Wednesday, but you need fresh legs as well, just to keep everybody on their toes. And that's not a competition. It's just to have different options in different moments. And the door is that wide open, that Taki can come in that team, and everybody was so far since I'm in was always really welcome when he came in, and this will be with him the same. And it's really exciting player, and it was good that we played them, that each Liverpool supporter could see, that's a proper player. So he is a type of player we need, can play all offensive positions, which is good. Maybe can play an 8 as well. We have to see that. He's a sensational, good guy, smart. Speaks after not short time, but speaks really good German, so we'll learn English quick. And so I'm really looking forward to it. And yes, it's always like you have to keep everybody on their toes.
You're here in Qatar. Obviously, you had to make a decision about the Carabao Cup for the young kids. I assume you've got no regrets over that, but going forward, do you think that the EFL need to look at the schedule of that competition, 2 semi-finals, maybe change that and be more helpful to the bigger clubs?
Look, we agreed that we need a winter break. So, good, done. Now we have a winter break a week. Everybody has a week, but it's a winter break. It's a week of football. It means all the international players, because they never have a break. The international players, it's the only week in the year where we now know where these people, which they are first and foremost, these humans, have the possibility to do something with their family, whatever. 3-4 days here, 5 days there, whatever. The problem what we have now is the Premier League decided we have a winter break. The FA decided the regame. What is it? Yeah, the regame. I mean, if you have to play, if you draw in the 4th round, you play the regame in that week. It's incredible. It's just in the winter break. That's where they said, right? That's where they said the game. And they're saying, okay, how is that possible? Nobody speaks about these things. I really don't understand that. We don't. The problem what we have now, nobody speaks enough. We don't speak enough to each other. So the league, the Premier League, the Football League, the Premier League, the FA, the UEFA, the FIFA. It's always everybody's planning their own things, and nobody follows that. So there's no common schedule for everybody. Look at that. The other games, we cannot do more games. Like it's now with the Team World Cup 2021. It's there, it ends like 2 days before the African Cup of Nations starts. Don't know exactly. So now every year is a big tournament in the summertime and all that stuff. That just doesn't work out. That's how it is. So if I want to do another, wants to increase the Champions League. So these are the things. It sounds like I don't like what I do. I love what I do, but I know we have 2 things that are very necessary: the players and training. So, and you can only use the players when they have enough, when they have rest. Sometimes I know people out there think that a player trains 2 hours a day and plays 1.5 hours cannot be a problem. And other people should try it, because we don't only play, we set our limits always like a little bit higher, a little bit higher. We try to do more and do it better and do it quicker and do that. That's like Formula 1. At a specific speed, you have to use the brake. So that's how it is. You can't only, because there's a curve you have to use and stuff like this. And that's in football the same. And to improve this game, we would improve this game immediately to the next level if we give these nowadays coaches more time to train and the players at least some time to rest. We try everything to give them as much rest as possible, but at the end, somebody needs to help us with the schedule, and so far that didn't happen. And the solution I really don't see in the moment. We just have to carry on with the 35 player squad or whatever, players who play only the big tournaments and the other play the Premier League. I don't know what the solution will be, but we have to talk to each other and find solutions for that, for sure.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.